Yes, y'all, it's your boy Kenny Black, aka K Black the Monster, and I'm in here with my main man.
DJ Nightmare, you know what it is.
Yes, and you are now listening to the best room in the house, the Blacc Room, baby. It's another day, another dollar, and of course, we got another guest in the building. Beautiful young lady by the name of Sydney Rainne.
Cindy Rainne.
Sydney Rainne.
Cindy.
Cindy. I'm
Get it
so
right,
I'm
get it
so
right.
bad with names. I
It's
always
okay.
do that. I sincerely apologize. Okay. Cindy Rainne. Cindy Rainne, that's an interesting name. Is that an actual last name or is that one of those creative artists' last names?
It's a creative artist last name, but it's based on my real middle name. My real middle name is Lorraine,
Oh, okay.
okay.
so it's not out the blue.
That's a dope name though. I'm always interested in artist names, and I think Cindy Rainne has a nice little flow to it.
Thank you.
It sounds real R&B, which R&B
That's-
singers.
That's
which
what I
you-
do. Yeah.
Great. So all right, so let's start. Where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn.
From Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn in the house. We used to have a radio show out in Brooklyn, so shouts to Brooklyn. All right, so how long have you been singing for?
I've been singing forever. Some of my earliest memories are me like singing around the house to like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, whatever my parents were playing. I was always singing.
Okay. Was it like were you in the church singing or was it just for fun? You just
All of the above. So I would sing around the house for fun, and then I sang in school. I sang at church. I was just singing everywhere.
Okay. All right, so then if you've been doing this whole time, when did you decide I'm gonna do this seriously? Like I'm gonna make this my career choice?
When I was 12, I sang at middle school talent show, and around that time, like I was very insecure. Kids would make fun of me.
Why? I'm sorry, I had to. You
Gonna bring up
gotta
her
ask.
past traumas and everything.
Listen, she's an R&B singer. All her songs is about past trauma. That's the
I mean, that is true.
see.
So, middle school is when everyone goes through that awkward phase. So, they told me I was ugly. And
Don't you hate that when they tell you you look something back then, you feel bad, then you get older and you're
And
like,
now
I wish
they-
I was that now.
Or now they be hitting you up in your DMs now and everything.
DMs is lit. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so, they told me I was ugly. And so my part of my background, like my family's from Trinidad, my great grandfather's from Venezuelan, and a lot of like
interesting
black Latinas tend to be on the hairy side. So I had a little mustache, I had my little peach fuzz, and I would hear about it all the time. I remember there was one day where this kid was like, "You have a mustache and a beard. Oh my God, Cindy!"
Damn.
Yeah, I got it.
damn.
Bad. It was rough.
They was lighting that
Kids
ass
are
up.
ruthless,
Oh
huh?
They
man,
are.
middle school is rough. I teach
Yeah.
middle school. They don't. They just
No filter.
not at all. They don't even know what a filter is. It's wild. Okay, so then yeah, so middle school when you decided I'm a really
Yeah, so I did this talent show and I sang Everything by Mary J. Blige, and
she
my-
picked the most drama filled. She's like, if there's anybody I'm gonna feel better
mean,
singing
She
is.
did say trauma, so.
No, but everything is a love song. It's a nice song.
That's true.
So I actually got like positive accolades from my classmates, and I was like, oh, people like me when I sing. I think I need to make a career out of this, and that's really where it started.
That's funny. Okay, that's an interesting start. As never, of all the people I've interviewed, it's always like just some passion and some love. It was never for attention, and that's an interesting spin on it. I don't think anything's wrong with it. I just think that's a new spin.
That's had to shift though, because
Okay.
I've realized that the more public you are, the more open you are to criticism and praise. So if I'm doing it for attention, then there's no guarantee that it's always going to be positive attention. And
That's a
I've had
fact.
to sit with that and reconcile that for a while, and now it's to the point where it's no longer for attention. It's just for the love of it.
Okay, dope. So then, with that, do you think that affected the type of songs you make, type of music? Like, were you making music for you, or are you making music for attention?
Oh, I'm definitely making music for me. And it's to the point where, sometimes I listen to my music in the context of what else is out there. And I'm like, where does this fit? Because this doesn't sound like anything. But, I've had to just, again, really sit with, this is for me. This is the musical expression of like all of my musical experiences. And this is me. Take it or leave it.
Dope. Okay, so then, what was I gonna say? is this music for you? But how would you describe your sound? Did you say you don't know where it fits in?
So my sound, it's a combination of R&B, soul. It's got some classical influences. It's got some jazz influences. It's got some Caribbean influences. And it even has some musical theater influences. So a lot of times when people hear my music, they'll say, that sounds like Broadway. It sounds like it could be, on a stage somewhere. And I think all of those things are true.
Okay, that's dope. Who are some of the people that influenced you as you were trying to find your sound?
So, around this middle school time, I just wanted to be Lauryn Hill when I grew up.
I think a lot of girls wanted to be Lauryn Hill, or felt like they were Lauryn Hill, or at least in that story. So Lauryn Hill was...
Yes, Lauryn Hill was a big influence. Jill Scott.
Freaky
all
Jill.
the neo soul type.
Freaky Jill.
And then, like, going further back, I listened to a lot of Whitney and Mariah. But yeah, if I had to name the one that was the biggest influence, it would definitely be Lauryn.
Did you have any gospel influence? As you said, you did sing in the church. Said, nope, straight heathen.
No, just not as much. I did sing gospel in the church, but what I was listening to outside was mostly R&B.
Well.
Let me not even be that guy. I'm not church. I don't even do church like that. But I know that's the sound you was getting when you. So you a lot of drama. Mary J. Blige, Lauryn Hill, Whitney Houston. That's a lot of women that been through some things. Been through some things. Do you think those are women that you related to most growing up through music?
I was too young to really understand what they were singing about and be able to like really relate to them on a personal level.
We thought we did though. Back in them days, listening to some of those songs, you would have thought you knew how to break up. You thought you knew. You tell me any little breakup you had, everybody was singing, "Oh, I'm not gonna cry." You know you're right. That was your song, had your sunglasses on for no reason. You like, all he did was not give me no more cookies. I don't even know why I'm even crying like this. I ain't even like him anyway. But okay, that's dope. So who are some of the people that you would say inspire you now?
I'm finding that I am deviating from a lot of what's current, and I'm just going back into like classical rap and jazz rap. I'm like, Nat King Cole is heavy on my iTunes right now. And Sade is coming up very strong for me right now.
That's my baby mama.
And like part of the reason for that is like I'm finally coming to terms with the fact that I'm not Fantasia, I'm not Jennifer Hudson, I don't have this huge voice, and I'm coming to terms with the fact that like my voice is lighter, and that's okay. So I'm listening to singers with lighter voices, and just getting very, very comfortable with that sound and embracing it.
Okay, I get the feeling that you wanted to have that kind of those big
growing
voices.
up in a church, a lot of times,
sing,
it's like
Yeah.
louder, it's not loud enough. And I'm like, well, this is as loud as I can get. I don't know what else you want from me.
I ain't got no more. That's it. I hit the max already. You asking for a lot. Okay, so were you ever, I know with the church, it kind of happens through church, but were you ever like actually vocally trained at some point or
Yes.
you just natural?
So I my bachelor's degree is in voice and piano. So I studied classical voice. I went to school for it. And then so that training was classical training. And then when I graduated, I realized that I couldn't really apply that to the kind of music I wanted to sing. And I was taught in college, if you can sing classical, you can sing anything, but that's not true.
I've heard that.
It's like telling a ballet dancer that they can automatically dance hip hop. Because they've been trained. Like, no, you've been trained to use different muscles. It's very, very different.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Within the past 5 years, I did a special training called somatic voice work training, and that allowed me to like have actual technique to sing R&B and gospel and the styles that the styles that my own music is based on.
Okay.
So what does that training consist of? Like, you just got to drink a lot of tea or something? Like,
No, the training is basically a series of vocal exercises to kind of rebalance your voice, and like to strengthen different parts of your voice. No, I'm laughing because every time I do a podcast interview, I end up doing like a mini demonstration, like a little voice lesson thing to explain how this thing works. Y'all want the demonstration?
Sure.
Oh,
why
not? You sitting in the studio. You might as well make it happen.
So, in the bottom of your range, you've got chest voice. It's more speech-based. It sounds like, ah. On the top, you've got head voice. It's lighter. It's airy and fluffy. It kind of sounds like, ooh. And in the middle of those two, you've got a break. So your voice wants to do, ah. And a big part of vocal training is learning how to get rid of that break. So with the classical training, it's all about bringing head voice down. So they'll go, which is beautiful if you're doing opera, if you're doing old school musical theater. It doesn't really help you very much if you're doing gospel or R&B. Like the sound just isn't strong enough. So the training is to be able to bring chest voice higher without screaming, because a lot of people would just scream. And with the exercises to balance those different parts of the voice and going back and forth between head voice and chest voice, eventually what you land on is so it's on the louder side, up and down, but I'm not pushing, I'm not screaming, and it's loud enough.
Wow, that was.
Let me try that. Leave it to professionals.
I thought about it, trying it just now, and I was like, I'm gonna pop a lung. I'm not even going. No, not right now, not right now. But that was dope, though. I've never heard someone like explain it in that way. Like I've actually taken a vocal class one vocal class in college, and
You sang too?
I wanted to until puberty was like, nah. But I was like, one day I'm gonna come back. But it also does help for like any kind of public speaking, or even when I used to rap, like it just voice breathing control. So understanding that. But I never heard it break down and explaining the difference between like opera going from top down, and that was an interesting spin on it. So all right, so let's talk about some of the music you have coming. I know you have a single and an EP.
Yes, so the single and the EP is out. The single is Irresistible Me. The EP is called The Mask.
Okay. That's we gotta break that down. So first of all, why is the EP called The Mask?
The EP is called The Mask because I realized that the person I was presenting to the public wasn't real. My business coach asked me to do a branding exercise. She asked me to have my community describe me in 3 words. And most of the words that I got back were happy and sunny and cheerful. And when I listened to the music I was writing, most of it was in minor keys. It was like it was the drama music. And I was like, if I was to take this feedback from people, you would expect to see a brand that was like super bright with like yellows and pinks and pocket full of sunshine, and like that's not who I am. So I was like, okay, what is this disconnect here? And I realized that I was like putting on this happy sunny demeanor because I didn't want people to see that I was hurting on the inside. So that's the story behind the title track, The Mask. And then when I looked at all of the different songs on the EP, like that just seemed to be the common thread. There was always this element of like trying to keep it together. And so when I wrote the songs, I thought that I was being completely vulnerable and open and honest. And the original title of the EP was Unmasked. But then when I went back and I looked at it, I was like, no, it's not fully vulnerable. It's getting there, and it's acknowledging that there's a mask. So maybe the next album will be like, what's really underneath the surface.
Yeah, but I think that'd be a dope, like The Mask and then Unmasked. That'd be a cool little series.
Like that
yeah. That's okay. So there's some thought there. So then, all right. So tell us a little bit about Irresistible Me. What's the concept, the idea behind that song?
Okay, so Irresistible Me came from, it came out of a situationship where I was like dealing with this guy for like 6 months. And
Did you know it was a situationship when you were in it?
No.
Yeah, how I feel. That's usually the trend when you ask girls. They in it, and then after the fact, it's like, oh, he didn't actually say, and then we didn't actually go. Got it. All right.
Hindsight's 20/20. When and then it. I feel like sometimes women have to go through that a couple of times to realize that mixed signals mean no.
Yep.
Because unless you have been taught that mixed signals mean no, like you're always looking for hope. It's like, well, we talk every day, so there must be hope. He must like me on some level, right?
I.e., she ain't got enough brothers. You could be like, no, stop following him around. He's not. If he was, he would have been. You'd be like, no. And then you go play basketball or something.
Exactly. So I was in this situationship, there were signs. Like he told me, he was like, I'm not really ready for a relationship right now. And I was like, okay, that's fine. My dumb behind was like, I'll just be his friend until he's ready.
Except you're still fucking, so it's not really, there's no real need to change. It's like, you sure? I am.
Exactly. So, I just kept, trying to figure out what was wrong with me and why, he didn't want to lock me down and what was going on. And it was like 6 months after that we finally ended up having a serious conversation about it. And he told me all of the things that he didn't like about me. And I was like, oh, those are all things that I actually really like about myself. I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me. You need to go. But it was in that process of like trying to prove to myself that I was good enough. That's where that song came from. So it didn't really come from a confident place. It came from me trying to convince myself that I was confident.
How do you think, because it's interesting you said about he told you what he didn't like, and that's what you did like about yourself. What do you think kept you from like not falling victim to like, damn, if he doesn't like this, maybe I should change these things, but you actually stuck to yourself? Like, what do you think it was that kept you falling victim to that?
I just really, really like those things about myself. So, like, one of the things was my youthful personality. He said that, like, I acted childish. And I'm like, okay, I work with kids. Like, at that time, I was teaching high school.
Okay.
I have younger sisters. My youngest sister is 12 and a half years younger than me. Like, I'm just around young people. I look a good 10 years younger than I am. Like, there's nothing that's going to stop... Exactly. There's nothing that's going to stop me from acting youthful and being youthful. And if you don't like that, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. And then, like, another thing that was an issue was... so he was very, very deep into the church, and this is when I started questioning things, and like I started seeing beyond what I was taught. I started asking too many questions.
It always seems to happen with church. You can always ask too many questions. Like, how was that? All right.
Yeah. So, he had issues with my theology, and I was just like,
Well,
I don't have issues with my theology. So I'm not going to change like my fundamental beliefs and how I move through the world just because you don't like it. It's just not a good fit. And that's okay. Right. What was frustrating though was it taking 6 months for us to get to this point. Like if these things were an issue, all you had to do was just say these things are an issue.
What do you think actually, what was it that sparked that actual conversation that you were able to have?
Oh, I don't remember. This was a long time ago. This was like 2012, 2013.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Because I was wondering, because like you said, it took 6 months. I'm like always curious. Like, what's that moment where you realize, yeah, this ain't gonna work, and it's time for me.
I probably just started asking too many questions.
Okay, you gotta make a song called "Too Many Questions."
Oh, that song already exists. That's Where It Ends. That's another song on the EP.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So there were 2 songs on the EP about this situationship.
Oh, wow. This must have been a lot. This was that one. You know, there's that one relationship that leads to all these. No matter what it is you're doing creatively, either you rapping, singing, drawing, dancing. It's like this was that one breakup that you was just like, yes, this was the make or the break you. That one. Do you feel like with music, being that you've gone through situations like that, therapeutic for you?
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely. Okay. And I remember you saying that the music you did and the person you were showing wasn't the same. Do you feel like Eminem, right? If you listen to Eminem, he raps about doing crazy stuff. But his philosophy is, I said it, it keeps me from actually doing it. You know what I mean? So do you feel like you can put those negative things in the music that allow you to have that bubbly personality that he didn't like?
Nah, I wouldn't make that connection. So I would say that when I'm writing from who I really am and from how I really feel and who I am in the real world. That is starting to shift now. So I'm starting to be more open and more honest and more just raw. Because before it was just repressed. And there are, again, like I've just started to scratch the surface with my music. It's going to get a lot more open. It's going to get a lot more raw.
Okay. So, all right. So there's a segment in so what we call them what the fuck questions. It's just random stuff.
Okay.
That probably make you go, what the fuck? So, so this is one we've asked recently. I've seen a situation. How would you handle if one of your friends, like your friend is dating someone and they're trying to, like they have a boyfriend and he's trying to talk to you?
How would I handle that? Well, I would tell him to get out my face, and then I would tell my friend. Like, but I would save screenshots. I would have receipts.
Keep the receipts.
She said keep the receipts. I'm screenshotting Snapchat, Instagram, text
Everything.
Yep.
Okay, I was wondering because in that situation, I always wondered like, do you tell the friend or not? Like, because some people don't want to hear stuff like that. You know, those people that get really into their relationships.
It's like they're in denial or something like that. But that's why she got the receipts, though.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to have those conversations without receipts because sometimes people are like, oh, well, how do I know to trust you? You just trying to break up my relationship. But then again, my friends, like, we are very, very close. Okay. And by now, they trust me that if I come to them with something like that, like, they know that I'm looking out for their best interest. Okay.
So then, since you got such close friends, I have another question. What? How do you handle if you find out one of your friends, the boyfriend or whatever, is sleeping with another one of your friends?
Ooh, I don't see that happening. We don't get down like that in my circles. I can't even. Okay,
what if these two friends that they're friends of you, but they don't know each other?
Ooh.
Like, what do you do with that?
Yikes. What do I do with that? Well, first I would talk to the friend who is sleeping with somebody else's boyfriend and just be like, yo, get your fucking life together.
It's that raw coming out.
I guess that's all right. I was wondering that.
And I would give her a chance to clean that up first.
Before you do it?
Yeah.
Oh, you out here Tekashi 6ix9ine and on people? Damn, that's messed up. I'm just playing. I'm just joking. All right. This other question. I thought I was going to retire it last year. But it's just such a fun question to ask, so I can't. 2 guys, 1 girl. Is that considered a threesome?
2 guys, 1 girl. Is that a threesome? Yeah.
Okay.
What else would it be? There's 3 people.
That's a train.
That's a train. That's a gangbang. That's, I don't know if that's teamwork, but that's something.
Teamwork. That's funny.
Okay. So you just going by the technical
numbers.
It being 3 people. All right. Some people like that, stuff double stuffed. Anyway, so then I guess Oreos. So then I guess the other way around, 2 girls, 1 guy is the threesome for you as well.
Yeah.
Okay, she's like, that's just simple math. I don't understand what the
Why we gotta make it complicated?
Nah, that's 2 guys is a train. I'm sorry.
Man, some people like their Oreos double stuffed. You can't judge people. Let people live.
I'm not judging, man. If you like trains, MTA.
Right, some people we from New York. It happens. Speaking of situations, have you ever put someone in a situationship where like you just like not to say led them on, but you weren't 100% like trying to date them,
or
but
even friend zone?
Oh yeah, friend zone.
of course you friend zone. Girls always have somebody in the friend zone.
That's true.
I don't think I know any female that ain't put one guy in the friend zone at some point in time in their life.
That's like the Twilight Zone. You don't want to be there.
Don't.
But here's the interesting thing. Like I actually let this guy out of the friend zone once.
Oh, you opened the latch?
I did.
How did he do that?
That's
I need-
rare. Yeah, we need to take notes.
How you let him? I need to share this with the masses.
You got the
Listen,
receipt.
this is for y'all. Go ahead. He
At
was in
one
there like
point-
Indiana Jones.
No, at one point we were like gym buddies, and we like hung out at his place after going to the gym, and he kissed me, and I was like, oh, I didn't know there was chemistry before, but there's chemistry now. So
I don't know if that counts because you got the word. You all working out. You all
Yeah.
muscular. You in the
Everybody
house all
sweaty
sweaty.
and
Ready, hot and bothered. This was going. Man, this sound like a good or a bad porno. I don't know.
No, but he was in the friend zone for years.
Were y'all always gym buddies the whole time?
No, we were just
So,
friends.
at some point in time, that's it, fellas. Go to the gym. Take him to the gym. Take him to the gym. That's how you get him out.
No, but you have to kiss them, and there has to be.
Yeah, you
there
start.
has
That's
to
the
be,
build up. You start at the gym, get all hot,
chemistry.
sweaty. That's how you build the chemistry. It's the gym, right? She feeling herself because she getting her body right, and then she seeing you get your body right. Then you take her back to the crib and you kiss her.
But there has to be chemistry. If there's no chemistry, they could backfire.
The
'Cause
gym
she
is the
could be like,
chemistry. That's how you
"Ugh."
make it happen. That's how you do
He was
it. You
lucky
gotta
to
wait.
get me.
You gotta wait until you build to a certain point. You can't be in there. You know what I'm saying? Stomach all out. You got the keg, not the six pack.
Can't have that.
You know what I'm saying? Do 10 push-ups and then you're like, all right, we here now? Like, no, you gotta wait till the six pack tighten up and then you gotta come out a little bit. Morris Chestnut, Tyrese. So what's the dude name? The brolic dude that be doing the titty bouncing. Terry Crews.
Oh, Terry Crews. Yeah.
Come out like
You
that,
said
instant
titty
chemistry.
bouncing, though, like.
That's what it look like. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, don't judge me. All right, I want to bring it back to music a little bit. I'd like to ask this question to anybody, or couple questions. If you could do a song with anybody that's not alive, who would you work with?
Not alive. Luther. No. Ella Fitzgerald.
Wow.
Oh, she's taking it back.
Yeah, she went there with it. I can see that. Just in the conversation with you, I'm like, that'd be an interesting
Yeah.
song.
And plus, she got the experience to do like jazz and
Yeah.
like classical and opera, so it kind of fits.
Yeah, that'd be fire. Okay, someone who is alive. It's funny, that question is starting to get harder and harder because there's a lot more people now, like greats that are like gone before their time. But go ahead.
Jill Scott.
Okay.
Freaky Jill.
Live my life like it's golden.
That's what I'm talking about. Sorry. If you were stuck on an island and could only bring 3 albums, what 3 albums would they be?
Ooh. Miseducation of Lauren Hill.
That's given.
Thriller.
Mm.
And an album of Chopin's Nocturnes.
Okay. That was a shift right there, but I'm not mad. Okay. I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised and kind of happy you didn't like pick a Mary J. Blige album because I'm like, you don't want that kind of sadness
sad and depressed
when
on the
you
island
by yourself.
By yourself.
Oh no, I think it's funny. The female equivalent, when it's guys, I always expect one of them to say a Drake album, and I'm like, I don't know if you want that kind of sadness either. And I think we found a female equivalent would be a Mary J. Blige album. That kind of sadness you don't need to have by yourself on an island. You start doing strange things with Wilson, coconuts. Yeah, you don't want to. Which probably happens anyway, but I feel like you got that album, it's gonna make you want to sing about it, and you don't need that kind of experience. It's like, you know how like R. Kelly songs now are like ruined because you know what he was doing. You don't want to hear a song and then find out that was about coconuts. Like,
Or volleyballs.
right? Seems
Can't
like
play
you're ready.
volleyball
Wait a
anymore.
minute, I don't. Sorry, this went somewhere strange. Let's come back. Definitely let everybody know what's your social media where they can find you and hear your music.
Instagram at Cindy Rainne, CindyRainne. Facebook, Cindy Rainne, same spelling. Twitter, Cindy Rainne. YouTube / Cindy Rainne music. Everything is Cindy Rainne. My website is cindyrainne.com.
Definitely gotta check that
Like the
out.
consistency. That's
Yes, it's good. That's actually smart. A lot of people have
Yeah,
a whole
they
bunch
have
of
it
different
different.
stuff, and it's like, how you expect people to find you? Oh, also before we get out of here, you guys, you had a performance recently.
oh yeah.
Yes, I had a show at Savannah on Friday.
Okay, how did that go?
It went really well. It was lots of fun.
I heard
Yeah.
Nightmare. You was
I
in.
was there. She had great crowd control too. Like when you was doing like the throwback songs and everything, had people say, yo, that was dope.
That's
Oh,
dope. That's
thank
good.
you.
Good.
I like
And Irresistible Me, there's a video out for that.
Yes, there's a video out for Irresistible Me. It's on YouTube and it's on the Facebook page. And I've got another show coming up on May 21st at 7:30 p.m. at the Groove Club in Greenwich Village. And the EP, The Mask, is available on all streaming and all the other music platforms.
That's dope. Thanks for coming. Definitely want to shout out Laura.
Yes.
Yes, the publicist who reached out to me. She's on point. It's like her communication and she's really on point with her job. So definitely want to shout her out for reaching out, and thanks for coming through.
Thanks for having me.
No doubt.
All right.
It's the Blacc Room, baby. We out here.